At the start of the 2025 MotoGP season, hardly anyone anticipated the dramatic upheaval that would alter Ducati's internal pecking order. Francesco Bagnaia, a double world champion and previously the undisputed leader of the Borgo Panigale factory team, has found himself sidelined as Marc Márquez asserts a new level of dominance in the contemporary era. By mid-season, Márquez had established an extraordinary lead in the championship standings, boasting a margin of 120 points over the closest competitor, none other than his own brother, Alex Márquez, and an astonishing 168 points ahead of Bagnaia. The elder Márquez has secured victory in 9 out of 12 Grand Prix races and has swept all but one of the sprint races so far. His remarkable ability to adapt to diverse circuits has kept his rivals consistently off balance throughout the season. However, the unfolding story extends beyond Márquez's exceptional performance. Francesco Bagnaia is struggling to acclimate to the new GP25's Machina bike that was anticipated to be his weapon for achieving a third consecutive world championship. On a parallel track, Alex Márquez's journey this year has been noteworthy. Riding last year's GP24 for Gresini Racing, he began the season holding the unique distinction of being the only other rider to have led the GAIA championship standings at any point. Alex's season highlights include a sprint race win at Silverstone and his inaugural Premier Class Grand Prix victory at Jerez, feats that signaled a potential challenge for the title. Nonetheless, the Brno round dealt a significant blow to his campaign. A crash in the main Grand Prix and a disappointing 17th place finish in the sprint caused by severe rear tire grip issues left him without points. Coupled with Marc's relentless pace, these setbacks effectively closed the door on any realistic title contention. Alex himself admitted the enormity of the task ahead. Overcoming a 120-point deficit is nearly impossible. Nonetheless, he remains optimistic, emphasizing that until it's over, everything is possible. His primary objective now is to secure second place in the championship, a target he regards as an impressive achievement. His immediate focus is on defending that position from Bagnaia, who trails by 48 points. The challenge remains formidable. Complicating Alex's efforts is a fractured hand sustained at Assen, making the upcoming Austrian Grand Prix his first genuine test of fitness following the summer break. His recovery plan involves regaining full health, returning to Austria in optimal condition, maintaining concentration, and avoiding mistakes reminiscent of those at Brno. Despite the season's difficulties, Alex rates his campaign as 8.5 out of 10. Underscoring the exceptional speed the team has demonstrated and expressing determination to continue improving to many fans. Bagnaia's difficulties may appear to have surfaced in 2025 with the arrival of the GP25. However, MotoGP expert and former engineer Juan Martinez traces the root of these issues to June 2024, when Ducati announced the surprise signing of Marc Márquez to the factory squad. This announcement shifted the dynamics within the team and marked the beginning of intensified comparisons between Bagnaia and Márquez. The elder Márquez's presence cast a long shadow that affected Bagnaia's public perception and internal team dynamics. Martinez highlighted the contrasting riding styles of the two riders. Márquez thrives by continually adapting the bike to varying conditions, extracting maximum performance regardless of circumstances. In contrast, Bagnaia's approach is more precise and methodical, relying heavily on a meticulously tuned bike setup. This dependency has become a vulnerability given the GP25's characteristics, which do not align well with his style. For years, Bagnaia's trademark was his heartbreaking ability, a skill that enabled him to dominate circuits such as the Red Bull Ring, where he claimed 5 consecutive victories since 2022. Yet, in 2025, this advantage has diminished. Bagnaia candidly acknowledged his struggles. He is now among the easiest riders to overtake under braking, and finds himself unable to brake as aggressively as before. The GP25's braking behavior has placed him in a difficult predicament. Attempting to brake hard leads to instability and loss of control, while braking gently compromises his ability to negotiate corners effectively. Technically, these challenges stem from reduced rear-wheel support during braking and front-end instability, forcing Bagnaia to adopt a cautious rather than aggressive braking style. Although he has experimented with larger 355mm brake discs mandatory at circuits like Austria, Brno and Mandelikend made adjustments to the BrakeMaster cylinder to replicate the feel he prefers. The improvements have been minimal. Brno starkly highlighted the performance gap. Despite the GP25 not being the strongest bike on that track, Marc Márquez managed to secure victory, while Bagnaia finished fourth. Recognizing the reality, Bagnaia conceded that the championship battle is effectively over for him this season. His goal has shifted toward securing second place and maintaining his streak of finishing in the top two since Descu. Since 2021, perhaps the most concerning aspect for Bagnaia is the shifting perception within Ducati itself. Reports suggest growing unease in the factory camp regarding his form, with some already considering alternative options for 2027. His solitary Grand Prix win, inherited after Márquez's crash at Coda, and inconsistent sprint results have weakened his claim as Ducati's #1 rider. Beyond points, the core concern lies in his adaptability, or lack thereof. While Márquez has thrived on the GP25, Bagnaia's inability to modify his riding style to suit the bike's demands is increasingly viewed as a long-term issue. According to an insider source, Ducati has been dominating the season, winning 10 Grands Prix and maintaining a perfect sprint race record so far. Yet, their two-time champion isn't even holding second place in the standings. A glaring discrepancy in such a results-driven environment. The key differentiator in 2025 has been Márquez's capacity to analyze each circuit's performance requirements and adapt his approach accordingly. At circuits with heavy braking demands like Austria, a younger Márquez might have engaged in direct braking duels with Bagnaia. This year, however, he has shifted his focus toward corner speed, where advantageous, conserving energy and targeting rivals' weak points. This versatility has rendered him unbeatable, with a winning streak spanning 10 consecutive races across both sprints and Grands Prix. Prior to the summer hiatus, Márquez is on track to surpass his own 2014 record of 13 wins in a season, potentially as soon as October's Indonesian Grand Prix, provided his flawless form continues. Beyond technical and statistical factors, a human story shapes Bagnaia's career trajectory. His father, Pietro Bagnaia, disclosed that Francesco faced intense pressure from an early age, challenges that nearly derailed his path before it truly began. In 2013, a difficult stint with Team Italia in Moto3 left him demoralized. The environment was unrewarding, and the team's attitude was often negative. Fortunately, the establishment of the VR46 Academy reignited his enthusiasm and passion for motorcycle racing. From there, his move to the Aspar team and a close friendship with Jorge Martin provided stability. Relocating to Pesaro at 17 allowed him to develop independence and brought him under Valentino Rossi's mentorship. While this relationship fostered his strengths, it may not have fully prepared him for the relentless scrutiny of a factory. Ducati seat alongside Marc Márquez. Pietro characterized his son as someone who appreciates technical mastery, is quiet, focused, and uninterested in showmanship. As MotoGP returns to the Red Bull Ring, Bagnaia confronts a critical crossroads. This circuit has long been his stronghold, yet the braking weakness defining his 2025 season is even more pronounced here. The mandatory use of 355mm brake discs could provide some relief, as it did at Aragon, But unless a significant breakthrough occurred during the summer, maintaining his flawless record at Austria will be a formidable challenge. Meanwhile, Marquez races to defend his second position, while Marc Márquez eyes further milestones in his quest for history. The season's narrative is set. Can Bagnaia reclaim his form on a track tailored to his former strengths? Will Ilix's recovery be sufficient to hold off the factory star? And can anyone halt Marquez's unprecedented dominance in the season's latter half? What are your thoughts on how these storylines will unfold?